How does it change just being the three of you? Does anything change?
Yeah, I think it does. So, the balance, with four people, it's majority rules, I guess, a bit more seamlessly.
Interesting.
Whereas with three, I think we've had to work harder to, and I don't want to misquote something that Marcus said a couple of months ago, but it was like, we need to be better at finding more consensus. It isn't okay for one person just to tap out when there's only three of you. Like when we've learned that you have to kind of continue finding the common ground. Whereas I think the more people that you add to that collaboration, the more it's okay to for someone to not necessarily get what they want.
Be carried by a greater number.
Yeah. So as you get into millions and millions of people, there's always going to be someone who's upset. But like with three, I think that's actually very satisfying. I think we're finding a groove with it that's like, you have to employ a bit more reason, make your arguments a bit stronger, whether that's creatively or otherwise.
Interesting.
And you have to know your mind a bit more, I think. That's what I've noticed, I think, with being a three.
Is that confidence? What is that?
I think it's like, you have to, I think there's an intentionality to knowing what you, and spending time and energy figuring out what you really think, rather than being able to go with the flow more. It's just that everything's a little more exposed because there's only three of us to discuss it.
We were literally talking about this over lunch.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Really?
But it's cool. I think that certainly led to a point here where we've all been really honest with each other. There's less hiding to be done because it's a smaller crowd.
But it creates more vulnerable music, right?
Right now, feels like being a new band, feels like a first record, actually. It feels most similar to when we were setting up Sigh No More. Because of the time you have to prepare it. Like we wrote Sigh No More for about 2 years before we released it. We started the band in 2007. We released the first record in 2009. This kind of feels similar in that way. And there's just an intentionality to our choices at the moment. Our shows, our artwork, our songs on the records, our recordings themselves, the way we're doing our business, that it feels like we've had the time and space that we've needed while we're away to come back with an intentionality that feels similar to when we first started.
Isn't that like what you kind of like chase after for?
Yeah.
Like that's
It feels like a relief. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like any of us right now are just like in the grind. We're not just on the treadmill banging another one out.
No, you're doing something that like is attached to like, I don't know. Like when I was like young, there's like confidence and naivete and like really blind confidence and like this like, you don't understand cause and effect. Like you have no idea. Like you're not jaded by anything. You just fucking do because your gut and your heart tells you to do. You don't understand what that means really.
That's what it feels like.
That's sick.
Right now.
Yeah. And I think it's unusual to get that at our point in a career.
It's all I want again.
Join us.
It's
No, it is unusual.
It is. I think it's an opportunity for us to begin again in a way that feels really beautiful and quite vulnerable and a bit scary in all the ways that it should. You know, there's like, we haven't allowed ourselves. We put a bunch of tickets on sale today. And the truth is we didn't know, honestly. We had some people around us who felt like they knew, but we just didn't know how it would go. It's gone really well. And we've managed our expectations and we've been away for a while. So it takes a minute to reintroduce yourself to even to your core audience, let alone people outside of that who might hear your music for the first time. And we're seeing at shows, this is a whole new generation of people listening to our music, which is dope. They were too young to buy tickets last time we toured.
And by the way, Americana is cooler than it's ever been, dude. Since probably like when you guys were first fucking killing it. Like,
and that's like massively exciting and quite scary at the same time. And we've had to approach this, the reestablishment of our band from inside out with some humility, because we're not. I mean, yes, we went back and headlined ACL last year, so we're not saying that like new bands get to do that. That's a massive privilege, I think. But we felt like we had to approach this as a reintroduction, even just to our core audience, and not come in like too swaggy, because we got work to do, catching people up to where we're at creatively. And I think we've got a roadmap now for the next couple of years of how to bring people to where we're at, because you're always ahead of your audience by a couple of years. Yeah. And creatively and song-wise, like we're quite ahead now, and we've got to catch people up, and you've got to be patient with that and a bit humble with that, and not just expect people to just listen to your music straight away.